I need this so bad, guys. Democratic senators call on DEA to deschedule marijuana entirely. I need it.
I need it!
You guys don't understand. My CIA handler is like really upset because they're not allowed to smoke weed. And they're like they've had it up to here. They've had it up to here. We've had legal weed for many years. Everyone is super chill about it. Listen, okay, we can't all be you. Legalizing weed would allow governments to hire cybersecurity workers. Apparently, programmers cannot stop smoking weed. My CIA handler can unlock 6 additional dialects of any given language once they're toasted enough. Oh, gosh. Yeah. Oh, forget to give the gift though. Okay, so that's all the stuff that I want to talk about today. And we'll get to it piece by piece. Bit by bit. This is wormy. All right. First, let's read this. Zadokin, thank you so much for the gift. Thank you. Okay. A group of Democratic senators called on Biden administration on Tuesday to completely deschedule marijuana, arguing that the White House's recommendations to the DEA to reschedule the drug do not go far enough to address the harm. For your Austin
trip and for that golden kappa.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Do you think there's actually a shot for weed to be decriminalized nationwide? Yes. They're trying their best to get some votes. Trying is the key word. I think that there's a pretty good chance, IMO, just because I think everyone is very clearly not under the delusion that weed is dangerous. Weed is probably one of the most legalizing weed is probably one of the most popular policies among Americans. I think only 10% of Americans think that weed should still be criminal. Cannabis. Also, people don't associate it with Mexicans as much anymore because white people love it also. Yeah, I think weed nowadays is just fully associated with like stoners. And everybody knows at least one stoner. And you know that stoner friend, all they do is like laugh at things that aren't funny, eat so much food, and do nothing productive ever. That's just, it's like, bro, this guy couldn't be violent if he wanted to. It's too much work for him. Do you see how stoned he is? There's no way. He'll get up, be like, I'm gonna commit a crime. Man, that's so much work. I'm just gonna lay down. So I really, yeah. Liam, thank you for the gift. Prisons are gonna need to find a new way to get some labor. More Perfect Union Fed legalization video. I know that there was a motion to recently, it's only a 12-minute video, to recently reschedule it as a, was it Schedule 2? Was it this one? Yeah, I think it was like, this article looks so shady. Can I get like a source on this that isn't sus? What is it like to meet Kaya? Dude, Kaya is such a sweetheart. I won't lie. I hate to be this person, but I do like cats a little bit more than dogs. But that's because I'm just very biased and I just love cats a lot. But Kaya is basically a cat to me. Kaya is an honorary cat to me. I like dogs too. Don't get me wrong. But Kaya, she's such a sweetheart. I don't know if I've ever seen a dog that's just like that sweet. She started barking for like half a second because there was some noise outside, and then she stopped. She was like, oh. Whereas I feel like most people whose dogs I've met, they always bark at me at least 5 times first. And I'm like, ma'am, your dog is barking at me. Ma'am, ma'am, please. I'm not an intruder, please. Please. Yeah. The real reason I can never get a dog though is like I don't want to have to call a dog sitter every time I leave or travel for like a day or two. Like I can set up a bunch of cameras and put out some extra bowls of food and some extra bowls of water, and I can just leave them alone. They have each other as company. I can just leave them alone for like probably like 3 days at a time. Whereas with dogs, you leave for even 12 hours and it's already a problem. It's like, damn. Hi, Meerkat. And that part's really nice. That part's really nice. Being able to travel very freely, that part's nice. Young Shula, thank you for the 5 gift subs. Thank you. Thanks. I'm standing here repairing my cat's tree while the stream is playing. Yeah. Oh, the other thing is you really do need to train your dog. Cats, you can kind of like mostly not train them, but you really if you get unlucky and your dog needs to be trained, you have to train them. You have to. Oh, Domain, cat, what's wrong? Why are you meowing? What do you need? Do you need love? Love and attention? Come here. Oh. Oh, whoa, whoa! That was not stable enough for you to start laying down on. No, he wasn't trying to escape. He was trying to chill. And then he just started slipping. Oh, God. He was like, okay, this is good. This is good for me. Anyways, all right. Why rescheduling marijuana might not be reform. And I know recently there was a recommendation from, I don't remember who specifically, but I know that the DEA was reviewing whether or not to reclassify marijuana as a Schedule 3 substance instead of it being in the same category as fucking heroin. It would be in the same category as ketamine. Zooted. Is this like a reschedule versus deschedule issue? Yes. Now, rescheduling it is already really huge, but it really should be descheduled. It's not really, it's just not. It's not a dangerous drug. It's not, it's not, it's not. It never has been. Hey, do you discuss Israel war today? Do you discuss Israel war? Do you discuss Israel war? Hey, do you discuss Israel war? You know, personally, when I send a question in a chat, I send it 3 times, and when they don't respond, I send it a 4th time, just in case. You should send it at least 5 more times. You might get an answer, I think. I think you might. So, maybe the streamer will read your message. I think it's possible. Anyways, in a letter addressed to Attorney General Merrick Garland and the DEA Administrator Ann Milgram, 11 Democratic senators, along with Bernie Sanders, argued that the administration should deschedule the drug altogether. Marijuana's placement in the Controlled Substances Act had a devastating impact on our communities and is increasingly out of step with state law and public opinion, they wrote. The letter was signed by Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren, John Fetterman, Chuck Schumer, Cory Booker, Jeff Merkley, Kristen Gillibrand, and or is it's Gillibrand, I think, and Ron Wyden, John Hickenlooper. Wow, really? He's on that shit? I guess that makes sense, yeah. Peter Welch. Okay, some other fucking. You guys get the idea. Last year, Department of Health and Human Services sent recommendation. There we go. The HHS. That's who had sent the recommendation. And it was a letter that I saw that was suggesting that the drug has no reason to be Schedule 1. It is not a dangerous drug or should not be there is no reason for marijuana to be that criminal and difficult to get. It's not, there is no single way that marijuana is worse than alcohol, and we all agree legal alcohol is fine. There is nothing that weed does to you that is worse than alcohol. I guess if you smoke it. I'm just talking about the actual drug. Not necessarily, what is it called? Method of consumption. Except it gives me the munchies. I know. I know. If you're smoking, keep your cardio high. Yeah, I mean, I don't smoke because smoking is bad for you. But if you're consuming exclusively edibles, that's significantly better for you than alcohol is. Alcohol is so bad for your liver. Is not necessarily good for you. You know? It's not good for you. Alcohol makes me more impulsive. Smoking makes me lazy, right? Ma'am, we boof our drugs up here. Oh, shit, you're right. Oh, fuck, you're right. Anywho, we can watch this video on this.
Here's a wild story I've been looking into. Weed isn't even federally legal yet, but giant...
Also, this is what I was trying to pull up earlier. 10% of Americans say that it shouldn't be legal. 90% of Americans think at the very least medical use should be legal. And out of the 90%, it's 59% that think it should be legal for recreational use. Who's the 10%? The fucking losers. The people that you know in your life that have like sticks up their ass. They just don't know how to have fun.
Corporations are already ruining it for consumers, for workers, and for everyone, really. Trulieve, the largest cannabis company in America, controls over 50% of the legal cannabis market in some states. If you combine them with their two biggest competitors in Florida, for example, they sold enough weed in 2022 to give every Floridian 7 joints.
You are basically taking over the Southeast. Is there any type of goal there?
Yeah, that's it. So.
You could be using their products without even knowing it. They create brands that evoke small brands and pair up with our most trustworthy celebrities, like Wiz Khalifa and whoever these guys are. Trulieve built an empire by exploiting policy mistakes in legalization, using their power to create those mistakes, and taking advantage of well-meaning programs. For example, the giant publicly traded corporation somehow got the only minority-owned license for a dispensary in Alabama. And they're already working to do the same tricks they did in states federally.
Do you have a lot of lobbyists in Washington right now, Kim?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we do.
The Trulieve story shows us what we can learn about how a weed economy shouldn't be run.
You guys can't trust this guy. He looks like a stoner.
And how a good one could be run. This is the classroom for a more perfect union. And today we're talking about how to stop big
Tell me I'm
industry
wrong.
from bogarting our weed economy.
Nothing says stoner quite like men having long hair. It's true. Even worse, he looks like an art teacher. What did he do to you? What did he do to you? Subtle fraudulence, thank you for the prime. Kind of fucked up how white people get to profit off of weed while black and Latino people rot in jail. Yep. Oh, yeah. Art teachers are simultaneously the best and worst teachers. The problem with art teachers is that they're nice. Most of them are really nice, but all of them are a little annoying. Like, you feel like you are doing your best, and they're like, well, did you consider doing something not that? It's like, and they're usually they're either one or the other or both, pretentious, but also positive, like unbelievably optimistic. I want to get like a Zizek art teacher one day. Anyways.
Let's go back to the last time America decided to make a substance illegal and then change its mind. The repeal of prohibition. Incredibly influential businessmen like John D. Rockefeller had once supported prohibition, but when they saw it simply wasn't working, they moved to end it. Rockefeller specifically took a surprising stance for one of the most bloodthirsty capitalists of all time. He wrote, quote, "Only as the profit motive is eliminated is there any hope of controlling the liquor traffic in the interests of a decent society." And that's coming from a dude who really understands profit motive. Back in the 30s, the United States government took antitrust, that's preventing monopolies, far more seriously than it does today. So in an attempt to keep the alcohol industry from becoming monopolized, they implemented a tier system. No one company could be the manufacturer, distributor, and retailer of alcohol products. Now, giant alcohol companies are a problem today, but the problem could have been way worse without that regulation. But let's look at weed. Zooming in on Florida's first legalization initiative and the dawn of Trulieve. In 2014, the Florida state legislature was building out a bill to legalize certain low THC strains of cannabis for medical uses.
The bill wasn't written by a progressive cannabis advocate like you might think,
but by Matt Gaetz, then a member of the Florida House of Representatives. Yeah, that guy.
Worst guy you know. Makes a great point. Heartbreaking.
It was boosted by strong supporter Representative Halsey Bashirs. Medical cannabis laws are complicated because they basically have to create an entire industry and how it runs from scratch. There need to be regulations on everything from labels to who can get licenses. During the debates on the bill, an amendment was added by Representative Matt Caldwell that said in order to get a license to grow the newly legal cannabis, a nursery must already have approval to grow 400,000 plants and have operated as a registered nursery in this state for at least 30 continuous years. 30 years. The amendment also added a requirement.
This also doesn't, what is it called? Talk about the fact that the actual marijuana plants are heavily regulated. Everything has to be bagged and tagged. There's a good video, I think, from like Business Insider that talks about like the details regarding here we go. This one. Let me see if I can find the actual video that shows how every single one is. Okay, this is talking about the license, which is really expensive. It's like tens of thousands of dollars to get a license from, for growing cannabis, but it's like $800 or some super cheap for like a liquor license. And then there's this. This is the most fucked up part of leaving this up to the state. Everything has to be super tracked state to state. And because it's not federally legal, everything is super annoying to deal with.
A little more time to sell. We started making sales and gaining momentum.
But the expensive regulations don't just stop at the license. In Oregon, the government requires farms to have seed-to-sale tracking.
This is basically an effort to reduce or at least understand the flow of cannabis into the illicit market.
The state tracks plants using tags with barcodes.
As you can see, all these metric tags here are made out of plastic. You can't reuse them. The tag takes me hours on end, and then you have to physically go and loop them around each plant. They cost around 50 cents a pop, which is really expensive when you have 1,100 plants in your facility.
They go on every plant when they're young.
This is considered a baby room.
And the tags stay with the plants through harvest.
These are even turning purple, so that's one indicator that the plant is quote-unquote finishing up.
We just come down here to the very bottom of the plant, chop it off, and then we'll hang this up here. We have to individually weigh every single plant according to the tag number that we got. I'll read them the tag, 05579.
Oh, who's you gonna make your cat?
Weigh this 183 grams, and then go on to the next one. It's a pretty tedious process, but for regulations, we have to do it.
Come sit.
So we weigh it wet, we weigh it dry, and then we weigh the waste from each plant and enter that in, making sure that every single part of the plant is accounted for. It's a pound of that gelato, baby.
And then there's a whole other set of regulations for turning marijuana into edibles. Based in Denver, Wana Brands is one of the top THC gummy makers in the country. It launched 2 years before Colorado legalized recreational marijuana.
I like to say it was kind of the Wild West in Colorado back in 2010. There really were not a lot of regulations in place.
That's founder Nancy Whiteman. She's expanded Wana into 11 different states. But remember, cannabis is federally illegal.
So yeah, the fact that you have seed to sale tracking and every single fucking branch needs to be tagged, and then every single one needs to be weighed, and then every single one needs to be weighed dry before you can even sell any of it is a joke. It's like, in what universe do we do this with any other type of plant? I understand regulating it and like keeping track of some of these numbers, because that makes sense. Like, how many plants do you have in the building? Like, whatever, sure. There's no reason for it to be tracked this way, this hardcore. They don't even do that with tobacco. No, tobacco is relatively way less regulated. It's so stupid. I hate the boomers in office that don't know anything about it. Yeah. God, yeah. I just don't understand why people are still afraid of weed. It's not scary. It's not a scary drug. Also, if we open the door to legalizing weed, weed. That Bucky's weed. I forgot what I was going to say now. Oh, we would have way better clinical trials on everything. Because currently all of the understanding that we have on cannabis is very mediocre just because it's a scheduled drug. So you can't just easily access it and do tests and studies. When it's legalized, or at the very least descheduled or decriminalized or whatever, we can actually start running clinical trials on people. Because it isn't like, it won't be the case that you as a researcher have to go through a million hoops if you want to research the effects of cannabis. People like to control other people, those who are afraid of drugs. Yeah, it's just stupid. It's dumb. It's dumb. Are we too good? Our bitch is too bad. They coming for us. Yeah. Yeah. I want to know if smoking weed causes like lung cancer the same way as cigarettes, because I feel like people that only smoke cannabis and not tobacco haven't been studied clinically. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. I think we could do some really good longitudinal studies on how bad is smoking cannabis for you relative to cigarettes. We could measure people's lungs, measure the juiciness, the high qualityness of their lungs before and after like a year, maybe 5 years and 10 years. Because of course, cigarettes are going to be worse, but how much worse are they compared to just smoking cannabis? Of course, smoking anything is always bad for you, but how much worse is it? I go to the doc and she's like, wow, your lungs rock. And I'm like, I'd like to talk about my cannabis consumption. Yeah. Have you seen all the ayahuasca and mushroom YouTube people offering retreats and spiritual healing started at $1,000? Dude, do not. Okay. Actually, listen, do whatever makes you happy and do whatever you want to do. I think once you get a spiritual guide for a drug, you have lost so much of the experience of that drug. Sorry, white people. Oh, okay, sorry, my bad. Sorry. I just think that someone else telling you how to become enlightened and leading you down this enlightenment journey, it's just bullshit. I don't believe you. I think if you actually want to get enlightened or have some serious change in like perspective, I think that's all internal and exclusively internal. And if it doesn't come from in here, it's not going to stick. It's just a scam. Yeah. Someone else being like, wow, so like, do you feel like you want to do a lot with your life? Yeah, you do. Wow. Sounds like you're holding on to a lot of bad stuff. You should let it go. It feels like the same shit as fortune tellers. Like, they're just telling you what they tell everyone else. It's like the waiter telling you how the food should taste while you eat it standing next to you, correcting your palate. Can you imagine, going to a restaurant, ordering something, and then right before and while you're eating it, they're like, so you should be getting a really nice creamy texture. The flavor should be very bright. It's like, dude, I don't need you to, let me try and figure it out myself. I don't need that. Hello? Unironically, the job of sommeliers, but sommeliers are bullshit. Wine is bullshit. The only thing that's true about wine is that when you drink wine from an expensive looking bottle, your brain enjoys it more. That's it. You guys have seen that, right? The clinical, I don't know if they would be called, actually, I don't know if they would be called trials, but I think they would. The trials that they've done on like wine. What the? Sorry, I'm pulling it up. Hold up. When I found out that sommeliers are lying to all of us, I stopped respecting those people. To be clear, let me be clear. There is a difference between other types of good levels of alcohol versus bad alcohol, but with wine, there's basically no difference. And people, sommeliers love to be like, oh, I can tell this is from the vines in Italy. And then they get fact checked and it's like California. These are some fucking grapes from California. It's like, okay, yeah. Okay. I think it was this one. Does all wine taste the same? On May 24th, 1976, the British wine merchant Stephen Spurrier organized a blind tasting of French and California wine. He was a Francophile and, like most wine experts, didn't expect the New World upstarts to compete with the premiers from Bordeaux. I don't know why I said Bordeaux. So he assembled a panel of 11 wine experts and had them taste a variety of Cabernets and Chardonnays, blind, rating each bottle on a 20-point scale. The results shocked the wine world. According to the judges, the best Cabernet at the tasting was a 1973 bottle from Stag's Leap Wine Cellars in Napa Valley. Yeah, a random ass county in fucking California. That's what they rated as being the best. When the tasting was repeated a few years later, some judges insisted that the French wines had been drunk too young. Stag's Leap was once again declared the winner, followed by 3 other California Cabernets. These blind tastings, now widely known as the Judgment of Paris. Oh, good. We need to judge them harder, okay? We need to judge those fuckers harder. Those French people, the problem I have with French people, okay, is that they insist that their shit is just better than everybody else's. Fuck you guys. Fuck you guys. No, your shit's not better. Now, in an even more surprising turn of events, another American wine region has performed far better than expected in a blind tasting against the finest French chateaus. Ready for the punchline? The wines were from New Jersey. They got wine from the trash state. They got wine from the armpit of America. And that shit still performed better than France. Can you imagine losing to New Jersey? Just fucking dissolve your country at that point. The tasting was closely modeled on the 1976 events. Bro, who is calling? Can't you see I'm making fun of French people right now? One second. Okay, just this once, that was actually worth picking up the phone for, because it was my management calling me back about the fact that my apartment is still leaking. I've never experienced leaking like this, where it's just like a slow flood. Just a slow flood. Clip it. Stop. Stop. Stop it. Stop it. Okay. Anyways. Judgment of Princeton didn't quite end with a Jersey victory. A French wine was on top in both the red and white categories, but in terms of reassurance for those with valuable wine collections, it might as well have been. Claus de Moches only narrowly beat out Unionville Single Vineyard and 2 other Jersey whites. The wines from New Jersey on average cost about 5% as much as their French counterparts. Can you imagine paying hundreds of dollars for the special French wine that just barely beat the New Jersey wine? Christ. Now, there is one thing. I'm not sure where it specifically is or if it's in here. Oh, another this is actually the most interesting part, and it's been pretty widely studied now, and it's really cool how your brain works on this. This is the most important thing I'm about to tell you guys, and you guys are going to change your life. Your life is going to turn around after this. Another test that Brochet conducted was even more damning. He took a middling Bordeaux and served it in 2 different bottles. One bottle bore the label of a fancy Grand Cru, and the other one of a Vin de Table. I don't even know what I don't know anything about wine. Okay, my wine knowledge is very limited. I've only recently started enjoying wine. Although they were being served the exact same wine, the experts gave the bottles nearly opposite descriptions. The Grand Cru was summarized as being agreeable, woody, complex, balanced, and rounded, while the most popular adjectives for the Vintage table basically means mid. Okay, so for the mid included weak, short, light, flat, and faulty. It's the same wine. Don't listen to sommeliers, okay? Sommeliers are liars. Literally all of them are liars. You pour them a glass of wine from a fancy bottle and they're like, wow, this... That was not French. That was not a French accent. I started and I was like, no, that's not French. That's not French. Sommeliers are the bud tenders of wine. Anyways, they're liars. You can serve them trash, but if it's from a nice bottle, they're like, oh, I'm getting like a very complex, nutty flavor. It's a very full-flavored, full-bodied wine right here. Yes. You can really smell that it was in an oaky casket. Sir, this is box wine from the 7-Eleven. Sir? Sir. They're liars. Okay, they're literally liars. They get like the best people and they can't tell shit. All right? Now, to be clear, from my understanding, other alcohols don't have this exact same problem. And of course, the difference between a really terrible wine and an okay wine is huge. Because there is some wine that's just disgusting. That's actually fucking disgusting. But much like luxury goods in general, like luxury purses or whatever, no, Mayor Cat, stop trying to chew everything all the time. Me as a sommelier, for real, on God, son, you're gonna like this. It hits differently. It's from Ohio. The type of grape matters a lot, and obviously, like the $2 bottle of wine is gonna be dog shit. But if you could pay $20 for a bottle of wine, and it'll probably be pretty good, so long as you are buying one of the wines that actually has done well. Yeah, and then like of course aging and stuff. So there is such a thing as bad wine. But at the highest level, you can get good wine for under $30 that tastes as good, according to professional sommeliers, as good as $1,000 wine. Which is a joke. Absolutely a fucking joke. Anywho. The most important things, however, about this is that if you take this doesn't show it, sadly. If you take a bad wine and you put it in a nice bottle, people start enjoying the drink more and start thinking that it's better. And the part of your brain that is like associated with pleasure lights up more when you're drinking from what you perceive to be nice versus not. But that also means that you can trick your brain into thinking that food is better because of its presentation. So sometimes when you serve yourself food and it doesn't hit that hard, it actually might just be presentation more than anything else. Because you eat with your eyes first. So honestly, if you want to enjoy a good bottle of wine, go to your local, whatever place that sells wine, Total Wine or fucking Trader Joe's or whatever. And then just buy the nicest looking bottle you could find. You'll enjoy it. Buy whatever bottle you think looks really nice. It's like $20. And you'll enjoy it as much as like $1,000 wine, which is really funny. Which is really funny and really stupid.